Tesla boss Elon Musk, now apparently the world's richest man, hit Senator Ron Wyden with a vulgar crack on Twitter over the weekend. Now, the comment came a day after Elon Musk launched a Twitter poll asking whether he should sell 10% of his Tesla stock, stating that it would be the only way for him to pay taxes since he doesn't draw a salary. So here's the poll, and wow, almost 60% of the people who participated said that he should sell 10% of his Tesla stock. Now I'll come back to that in just a second, but Ron Wyden responded to that by saying this: whether or not the world's wealthiest man pays any taxes at all shouldn't depend on the results of a Twitter poll. It's time for the billionaire's income tax. And Musk didn't seem to really like that. So he responded the way a real mature man would by saying, what? I'm guessing he meant what? What does your PP look like? You just came? Okay. So
why
yeah,
does your PP look like you just came?
Oh, why does your PP look like? Okay, I'm sorry. It's kind of hard to decipher what really intelligent and successful men like Elon Musk say in response to, a very real and accurate statement about billionaires dodging taxes in the country. But proceed.
Yeah, and PP in this case, we assume means profile picture, but who knows? Here's a guy.
Oh, does it?
Yes.
Are you being serious?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's why he's saying he looks like he has an O face, if you will, right?
I thought he was talking about his genitalia. My bad. Okay.
Yeah, but no, but it could be a double entendre, right? Or a double anyway.
Sophisticated.
But either way, look, why are we talking about senators orgasming? What a weird place this has gone. You know why? Because Elon Musk doesn't want to pay taxes. He wants you to pay taxes because he's got to get the government money. By the way, that's part of what funds his spaceships that look like penises. So, and so he's like, I need you suckers to pay as much as you can. But can you imagine? He says it like with a straight face, like, you think I should sell 10% of my Tesla stock? I only have over $330 billion. It's nearly impossible to spend $3 billion in your lifetime. He has $330 billion. He's like, can you imagine the government's making me sell 10% of my stock? They're paying taxes like you suckers. Okay, so he does the poll and it halfway works. Like that poll should have been 99-1, right? But they've turned everything into culture wars. There's a point Anna makes often, and it's really exactly right. So he turns into like, guys, I shouldn't pay any taxes, right? Because of the PP. Because of the PP, I shouldn't pay taxes. And a lot of right wingers are like, oh yeah, totally, man. I should pay the taxes, not you, because of Senator Wyden's PP. Okay, and that works. That works with right wingers. It's unbelievable. But even so, he lost the poll. Of course you should pay taxes. That's insane that you're claiming you shouldn't pay taxes when you're literally the richest man in the world. And by the way, a real critique of Ron Wyden would have been if he actually cared to do, he knows he's gonna lose on economic issues. He knows that if he talks about the injustice, that they're gonna want him to be taxed. But if he had done a real critique, he would have said, hey, Senator Wyden, you proposed a billionaire's tax. Can you tell me who killed it? Oh, right, your fellow Democratic colleagues, like Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin killed it. So talk about the corruption of the Democratic Party as well as the corruption of the Republican Party, but he would never talk about that because Elon Musk loves that corruption, lives for that corruption.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.